Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Whine About with your hosts, Siobhan Camille,
And Tae Michelle.
where we whine while we whine, WINE, about life, love, relationships, culture, wine, of course, and more, because sometimes you just need to whine a little. It is fourth Wednesday, so y'all know that means we here for the culture. And we're gonna talk about respect. Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. Yeah. So grab a glass of your favorite red, white, rosé, sparkling cider, or water, whatever it is for you, and join us on the couch. Don't drink and drive. And if you are driving, pause that thing if you like. I mean, if you focus, go for it. Otherwise, come on over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube and whine with us in color and come see us and our facial expressions and be a part of the conversation. Come comment with us. You don't have to agree with us, but you come with us. Come comment.
Talk to us. We're here for the healthy debate. Okay, we telling y'all, we truly here for the healthy debates. We're here for the shenanigans. We got time for the stuff and all the things. So comment below whether you agree, disagree, kind of agree, you don't understand something. If it's one part in there that you need clarification on, like all of it, we are here for the convo. Ladies and gentlemen, we just ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as go to Instagram and follow us on A Little Something, the number 2. Whine out. Because again, we want you to be a part, wine with us. We want you to be a part of this wonderful wine community. And if you like wine and you are already part of this wine community, let us know what wines you like drinking. We can try them too. Let's get to know one another. Hi, I hope you guys are doing very well in this wonderful, wonderful month of March as we look into April.
Spring is coming. Spring is coming.
Okay, allergy season. Hello. So yeah, let's get ready. And yes, this week on For the Culture, we will be putting respect on our names, or a name, or some name, or the name. NAME. Stop. Like, all right, y'all already know the deal. We're here, of course, because we whine while we whine. So this month of March, this last week of March, we have the wine from our last wine from the winery of J Vineyard. Siobhan, let us know what you're whining on today.
So if y'all saw me doing this, it's because the cork says J Vineyards. That's so they fancy. In this one. So I have the Ratafia. It is a dessert wine. First of all, I just want to say get into this bottle. It is sleek. It is slim.
Yes.
It is sexy. Hello.
It's just sexy. It says ooh.
It says ooh. And then the color for y'all.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It's like a butterscotch. Yes. It is like a butterscotch. It is giving me life. Okay. Beautiful. But yes, so this is their Ratafia. I don't really know what to expect going into this. I've actually never had a dessert wine. So even on type of wine, it's a popping grapes for me. I've never had a Ratafia. It's popping grapes again. We just popping a whole vineyard today on my side because I've done none of this ever. So I'm a little concerned. Also, I looked at the back of this thing. It is 18.5% alcohol, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, so you about to be lit.
We're not gonna do too much. I have my good day, bad day, don't even ask glass. We might have to have had a great day because I don't even know if I can get to good. Like I'm feel like that's gonna be a different night for me. So what are you wanting on, Miss Tae?
Oh goodness, I have the Cuveé.
Cuveé.
Well, Cuveé, y'all know I've been messing stuff up. And the thing is, I almost almost said it right the first time I said it, and I told her what I said, and my brain, I didn't remember it. Sorry. Cuveé. Wine, and this is, after doing some research, this is pretty much just a whole bunch of different grapes put all together to make a subtle sparkling wine type situation. I have never had a Cuveé. So yes, this is a popping grapes for me. I am excited. I'm always excited to try a different type of wine in general. So the bottle isn't as sleek, but I'm still excited. Okay, the yellow J is giving it to me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this.
You're actually not even supposed to pop champagne. It's supposed to like subtly do little thing I found from a sommelier, but you know, it's more fun to pop it. It's more fun.
Pop that thing. I'm gonna show you how to make your man say, oh.
Oh wow.
Oh, this is bubbly. I don't know if y'all saw this.
Okay, I'm remembering what I think I read about this was something about, I have to look up this, but it smells like liquor. Like it smells like butterscotch cognac or something. Like I think that's part of what this is actually, but I'm gonna look that
You're
up.
gonna have to give me 2 seconds because clearly this cork cannot go back into that. So I have to go get one of my stoppers. Sorry.
So while she's doing that, I'm gonna look up what the Ratafia is because I feel like I remember reading something about this.
Okay.
So let me see. I'm gonna look up what this Ratafia means. I'm a little concerned, but we're here now. Ratafia. So a liqueur flavored with almonds or the kernels of peaches, apricots, or cherries. That's a general. Ratafia is a broad term used for 2 types of sweet alcoholic beverages: a flavoring essence whose taste resembles bitter almonds, later to a Ratafia flavored biscuit, a biscuit to be eaten along with Ratafia. So it's a thing happening here. It's a liquor, wine, I guess. So God pray for me, because Lord, I can smell it.
And so I feel like this will be a wine that gentlemen may actually enjoy, just based off the description alone. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Y'all, I had a whole bunch of bubbles. This is appearing to be more of a champagne. It smells even more of a champagne. It has that type of scent to it. So yeah, like you see me swirl and the bubbles come back. Like this is really.
Yeah, this smells like a sweet butterscotch liquor.
This smells like champagne. Like that's what this smells like. And I'm a little excited and nervous now that I know what it smells like, because me and champagne are not the best of friends. And we're not the best of friends because I usually don't remember the maltings when I drink it.
But that, you know what? Let's talk about this respect on my name, since I mean champagne is somebody's name. So let's go there. Let's do this.
It's somebody's name. So all right, y'all. Let's first tell y'all how this came about. We were doing our promo shoot, which we have those now. We're podcasters. So we were doing our promo shoot, and I had this in on TikTok, the Put Some Respect on My Name challenge through the holidays and everything else. And for me, when I hear the term or phrase, put some respect on my name, of course, the first person you think of is, what's his name, Birdman, when he was like, put some respect on my name, like the whole thing. And I just remember the clip. I don't remember the whole conversation that was had, but pretty much he felt disrespected. Or, discredited, or, something like that, something along those lines. And although he is not a favorite artist of mine, and I am not aware of all of the accomplishments that he may or may not have have under his belt. I can understand because he has been in the industry for a while. He has brought in some of the bigger, some of your bigger Lil Wayne, that whole,
Cash Money was
Cash Money, like all of that, So for him to say that to me, with me not watching the entire thing, it made me think, okay, someone is challenging his legacy, right. which is why he said, "No, you're gonna put some respect on my name," because a lot of times when you hear that, it's in a way of you feel like you've been disrespected or discredited or some way. When I hear that, though, I hear that part, but in hearing that part, it makes me think, okay, so what have you done? What is your name? Why do you feel, your name is important? That's just how my brain works. And naturally you would ask someone that. The issue that I have is a lot of people take that as disrespect instead of and I feel like they take it as disrespect, because they can't answer. And you can't answer, which then I feel like people may get, which is why people get triggered and defensive, because they may not know what their legacy is right now. They may not, like I said, you feel discredited. So anything that you've done, you feel like it was nothing, or that person just doesn't know who you are. And they may not. So if they don't, then it's your time to educate them. Your name ultimately is simply a label of who you are. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. But being a person who is big on titles, a title is also a label. So for me, my name, my label, my title means something. So I have always been one of those people who truly believe what you call me, not only what I answer to, but what you call me says a lot. When you call me your sister, if we're not blood related, you call me your sister, that has a meaning and a level of respect and a level of value. When you call me your mother, that has a meaning, a level of value, a level of respect. When you call me your friend, that has a meaning. When you call me outside of my name, that has a meaning. When you when you are describing me, all of these things have meanings, and words have value. Yes. Your label has value, which is why I am very big on, when it comes to legacy, what are we naming our children? What are we allowing our children to answer to? So when I hear put some respect on my name, I would hope that that's what others think of. And in that term, and in that way, I feel like we have to be vigilant in what we name ourselves. Well, not ourselves, our children, because ultimately we generally don't choose our names unless we change our names. The same thing is when you get married, your name changes, your last name changes. And I know a lot of people have an issue with that. I'm not changing my last name to my husband. See, that then goes to the tradition of legacy. Do I understand that a lot of people are against traditions in reference to that because the whole history of misogyny? Yes. But ultimately, the way this world still works is based off of that. For me, that also plays into a part of the spiritual thing of two becoming one, and husband and wife, and so on and so on. So for me, that's a big thing. And as you can tell, we don't agree on this. So I'm saying that because if you don't agree, say something. Say something. I'm not giving up on you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not one for I believe in labels, and I believe names have meaning. And to that point, I built my legacy. I built who I am and my legacy under my name. And because I thought about changing my last name a while ago and actually just taking my mother's last name. Because my mother never changed her name either, which I guess worked out because my parents got divorced. So foresight, didn't have to go through all those that legal back channel flip-flops and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? That's the other part. Like, if we don't make it hard. If we don't make it, but it's still a process. I'm not saying it's the hardest process ever. But now I also, in addition to going through a divorce process, have to go through another legal process to get my name back. But the reason I think I was okay holding on to my last name is because of legacy. It's actually like me and my dad we do not. But my grandfather, his father, where that name comes from, there's a lot of, I have respect. I have nothing but respect for my grandfather. May he rest in peace. Nothing but respect for him. So part of the reason that I wasn't going to take anybody's last name, maybe hyphenated if I wanted to go that route, was because my legacy is in my last name. And I am proud of my last name because I am proud of my grandfather. I didn't know my great-great-grandfather or my great-great-great-great. I didn't know none of them. I can only go off of one I knew. And if it came down to changing it because me and my father, I definitely would have changed it. I would have just taken my mother's last name. But when I thought back to, but my grandfather was a great person and we had a great relationship. So that before it went to my father, it was my grandfather's. And so that's why I hold that. And I'm not going to let that go for some dude. Now, having said that, if my husband guy, whatever, had like an awesome last name, we was in here. I was gonna change.
Oh my goodness.
But he had to have a good one. You gotta have a good one. Like, it had to be the type of name that people read my name and then see me and go, what? Because I like breaking people's minds. So if I got with a dude and his last name was like Warchowski. Yeah, Siobhan Warchowski. Because then when you see me, you didn't. You first of all thought I was gonna be a guy because most people hear Siobhan and still think I'm a dude, whatever. But then if you heard Wachowski, you didn't think I was gonna walk in the door. Or even if I walked in the door and it was, Siobhan Rodriguez, that I'm not who you thought. Siobhan Chan, I'm not who you thought. I basically was not gonna trade my English last name, because that's what it's based in, for another English last name. I'm not. And as Black people, let's be honest, we got our English last names through the slave trade. So
and we did.
Giving up my slave owner's last name for your slave owner's last name, to me, it was just kind of like, eh. Plus, unless you had a great one, I'm not that's how my mind works. Is what's the point? But to the point of legacy, I understand why names are important. And if a woman chooses to join her husband's legacy family, build theirs under his name, I get that. I don't have any. And this is, let me do a real quick aside. I swear this tangent is related though.
No, you're fine.
We have to stop telling people that they can make a choice and then getting mad when they make the choice we wouldn't have made.
True.
That's an issue I had with society as a whole. Is, for example, if you're going to tell someone, for example, because we did feminism versus femininity. A lot of feminists are like, well, it's about a woman having a choice to lead, not to be a stay-at-home mother. Okay, but then stop shaming women who choose to be a stay-at-home mother. You gave her the choice. Great. That was her choice. That's what she chose. She didn't want to go work 40 to 80 hours every week. She didn't. That wasn't what she found a dude that was willing to, take care of everything. And
they were able to. So
why does it matter to you?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it matter to you? That's what I will say. And this is where I think on that we do agree. We can't agree to disagree. We agree on this at least, is I'm not changing my last name. But I respect Michelle's choice to change hers. She changed hers, but she respects my choice to not change mine. Absolutely. And that's what it needs to be.
Absolutely. I mean, even to go, and I say it to legacy because a conversation had to be had between my son, myself, his biological father, and his stepfather. My son has been, because I am who I am about my name, when it came to his, and I know for a fact, my son's first name, I already knew what his middle name was going to be because it was going to be a derivative of my name, my middle name. And that's how it's spelled. It's a thing. I knew he was going to have when I knew I was pregnant by my son's father, our names both started with the M. So I knew my son's name was going to start with the M. I also knew he wasn't going to be named after his father, because that's also my father's name. So I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Fair.
But I knew his name was going to start with the M. I didn't know what it was going to be. I'm get to the point. Sitting in church, literally, I grabbed the closest Bible to me. I didn't have a Bible. Didn't know what his name was going to be. It was something that was kind of taunting me, because for those who don't know, I found out I was pregnant almost 6 months into my pregnancy. So it was like, yes, everything had to happen fast. Didn't know his name. Didn't know what was, a lot of things was going on. And I was sitting in church and literally opened the Bible, and the name Malachi was highlighted. I literally was like, oh, that's his name. I stood up in church and everybody was like, what? I was like, that's his name. His name is Malachi. I know my son's name was God-given. Period. To the point where, fast 4 years later, so many people have problems when they see his name is Malachi. It's spelled just like it is in the Bible. My son has been called Malachi, Malakachi, Malikali.
Oh, you ain't gonna talk to me about people mispronouncing names.
Oh,
you already know.
Oh, I know. And it was so annoying to him at a young age. I knew he was like his mother. His name holds weight to him. So if it holds weight to you to begin with, I feel like that's the first step of integrity. That's your first, this is mine, I own it. I'm going to make this mean something. I'm going to be strong in it because this is who I am. This is my way. So I was like, okay, cool. Fast forward to the point. My son ended up having my last name, my maiden last name, not to my own doing. I literally waited 2 years for his father to do what he needed to do so that he would have his father's last name. His father did not. With that being said, he naturally gained his mother's last name, maiden last name. Fast forward years later, my son's about 11 years old. At this point in time, I'm about a year and a half married. I come get a phone call from the teacher asking me what is his last name. I told her what it was. She said, yeah, that's not what he's writing on his paper. He was writing his last name hyphenated with my married name as his last name. When I talked to him about it, he said he wanted to change his last name to mine. One reason was because mommy's last name is not the same as mine anymore. But two, this gentleman, my husband, has now come into his life and is now being the present father.
Right.
And he is seeing that he is making a connection with this, like it was instant with them two. And I mean instant, like shockingly instant, like for me. And he was like, no, Ma, I really want it. So I waited a couple years. During this course, his father got upset and told my son that it was disrespectful for him to want another man's last name. Which then, of course, you know.
I mean, and that's a wine for another time. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Of course, I checked that. But the point is, the reason for someone getting upset, because names carry on, supposedly, as far as society goes, through the boys, through male children.
Right. Yeah.
Traditionally, through the male children. So, with that being what it does traditionally, now you can see why another person coming in feels completely disrespected when they didn't have anything to do with bringing you here. But again, another wine for another time in reference to how I feel about that. But to case in point, my son feels so strongly about his name and where he would go with that. to the point where my son said, if I have to change my name to this, I'll keep it the same. Because he didn't want his legacy at his young age to be tied to another last name. Another label, another legacy. And it's not that the legacy is a bad thing whatsoever. It's he recognized where he wanted his legacy, his name to go, what he wanted that to mean, to mean in the future. And just that level of importance is like, how can we take it so lightly when we go, well, I am going to name my child Apple after a car.
Well, here's what I'll say. Some names that are like known as cars, I guess my question becomes, what's the origin? Because for example, when you say car, and the first thing that comes to my mind is Mercedes. But here's the thing about Mercedes. Mercedes is actually a Dominican deity. Like, and I told this to the boyfriend the other day, and he was like, really? I say, yeah, a lot of people don't know that, which is actually, go to Dominican Republic, Mercedes is like common. There are certain names where it's like, okay, what's your origin? I don't necessarily I don't have an issue with you naming your child after a car. If the car brand is famous, great. But if you can tell me the origin of that, because let's be real, these car brand companies didn't invent these names. They grabbed them from someone's last name or something else. A lot of them were, as a matter of fact, most car companies started off doing planes. So there's aviation related stuff to a lot of that as well. So
right, but that's the point though. Those people wanted that to be their legacy. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna put my name on this product that I'm coming up with. Because
yeah, but I just say, but my thing is,
this name is gonna carry on.
I guess my thing is just origin and definition of the meaning. And I say that because, for example, like speaking to legacy, Malachi choosing to keep his original last name and not change it and go whatever also speaks to, like with me, I'm not changing my last name. I built my legacy under this. And other people who choose to change their last names, whether male or female, because of situation. For example, Le Boyfriend's last name. The history of his last name is actually interesting because he has Irish heritage. And what happened was back in the line, like four generations back, the white slave owner son fell in love with the black house chick. I don't even know if she was the house chick, but basically one of the black slaves. And to the point where it wasn't a Thomas Jefferson Sally situation where there was a lot of the R word going on. It was one of those situations where he actually fell in love with her and she fell in love with him, to the point where he would take her. Initially, I guess, it was like, come with me to town and carry my stuff and do whatever. But it got to the point where the family was like, you taking this one slave an awful lot. And y'all are gone longer than it should take y'all to whatever. And then when you come here, you can tell when people vibe. Like, they were vibing. People noticed. And he wanted to marry her. And the family was like, no, you marry her, you lose your last name. Like, we disown you. We don't whatever. We're done with you. And he was like, oh, okay. And married her anyway. And that's how he changed his last name from what it originally was to what the family was known for. Crop-wise, which is what a lot of, I know the Irish did this, I'm assuming some others did this, where they then changed their last name from whatever the family last name was to whatever the family occupation was. And that's how Le Boyfriend got his last name, was because one of his ancestors, the white dude, decided he wanted to do the black chick and screw the family. And so he went this way. But again, so now he changed his legacy. And that's where that line goes. And I feel like, so I agree with you on a thing that it's not something that can be taken lightly, even what you choose to name yourself. shouldn't be taken lightly, but you really have a lot of control. But more to the point, what you choose to name a child, because you are subjecting them to at least 18 years, because you can't even change your name legally until you're 18.
Right.
18 years of building their legacy under pineapple or dish soap or whatever label name you decided to give them. They now have to carry that and build whatever and be subjected to either ridicule. And I'm not saying that people need to care so much about what other people think, but it is like, it's important.
But it plays a part.
It plays a part.
It does play a part in your mental, and I need for us as a society to recognize, yes, we know I don't care what people think is the way it's supposed to be. But in actuality, we do care because we socialize with one another. We have peers, we have family members. We do care what they think. It does impact your life and how you move. So we have to be realistic about that. So when we start naming and giving our children these labels, those are things that we have. It's like when let's take the movie Meet the Fockers. Okay. You laugh, but her name was Martha, was going to be Martha Focker. It's so close to something else that even if you're not trying to, or you're not off back thinking in a derogatory way, you automatically go, whoa, wait a minute.
It's name association. It's name association.
Exactly. And you have to be aware of, because as we're talking about mental health, and that's a big deal, that's a part of mental health, because regardless of what you say, people are cruel. Children are ruthless without them even trying to be. We see it all over TikTok and everything, how they have no cut cards, they have no filters, and it's all, most of the time, it's in innocence. And we get it. So with knowing that, let's just be more cognizant and aware of what we're labeling our children. Also, teach them the meaning, the origin, the history that comes with their name. You know, you can ask, I can ask full-blown grown adults, what does your name mean? And there are some names that people say, oh, well, yeah, that just sounds ghetto. And I'm gonna be honest, it do. But it does. There are a lot of names that you be like, oh, yep, that's ghetto. But if you look it up, a lot of those names are French. A lot of those names are Italian.
Yep.
And they have meanings behind them. So in US, this rim, it might be a combination of the uncle and the brother with the sister name who all passed away in a car accident. But little do they know, if you look it up, that could actually mean something in another language. I remember a time when people used to be, when we were little, we'd be like, oh, what you gonna name your kids? Well, I want to name my kid X, Y, and Z, and this, that, and the other. And we would look up the name, find out the origin. It was a whole thing, to the point where we knew some of us knew what, we could tell people, with pride, you could sit up straight and say, oh, well, this means this. Even if you look back into our history, the African American history, our ancestors, their names meant something. Like, based off their name, you can trace back the tribe. You can trace back the location of where, they're from. You can trace all those things back by simply having a name. Yes, we know because of history, slavery, and everything else, progression and all of that, it's extremely harder. But I think if we keep in mind that, it would change our perspective a lot on what we're naming our children, or what we're going to have our children answer to. My middle name, unbeknownst to my father, in Thai means sugar honey iced tea. You know how I found that out? A young lady who spoke Thai When I told her my middle name, she said, "Oh, you know that means X, Y, and Z." And I was like,
but then that's the other thing though, is a lot of it comes down to context, because as you said, with like, let's take French. Black people love French, okay, as a whole. Most Black women I know, their middle name is French if their first is not. Like one of their two names, middle or first, is French. Oh. My middle name is French. And everybody, like, I have met girls who either their middle name is Denise, that was a big thing when I was in middle school, or it was something French. Janae, Michelle. I knew a couple, Marie's. Like, I'm like, yo, Black people obsessed with French. Now this makes me think of when you had the Bordeaux and you were like, oh, that's a lot of letters for Bordeaux. And I was like, this is Black people. That's why Black people love French, okay? Because it's 18 letters to say oh. E-A-U-X with A-U, oh, that's it? Right. So now that's why I think Black people have, and it's a cultural thing. I'm going to talk about us. It's for the culture. I think that's part of why we sign a lot of stuff and we grab these French names, because you want to make it as difficult as possible to be unique. And so you have 15 letters in here that say O, 8 more that say A. So your baby can't write their name till they're 17. But anyway, that's another aside. But I say that because again, I've seen things, and I'm a very international person. I got friends all over the world. And it was funny, I had a conversation with a woman in French, and a French woman, a white French woman, because they're Black people in France, who was like, it was funny to her when she came to the US, because I think her name was Angelique or something along those lines. And she was like, I went to like interviews, or I would go places, and you could tell that people didn't expect me to look like how I looked. And I don't understand that, because it's one of the, I mean, it's white. Like, my name is white. I thought I expected you to be Black. She's like, yeah, I figured this out because a couple other girls told me this. And I was like, yeah, because the name Angelique in the US American culture has become associated with being Black American, because a lot of Black people took from French culture. I mean, and part of that is because, and I had to school her, I said, for the Creoles in Louisiana, I said, honestly, y'all French people, the way y'all enslaved people was a little weird. Because unlike the English, who took over most of the country, who were like, Black people, Africans, y'all suck, and did that, the French, I said, y'all would enslave people and then marry them. Like, y'all enslaved people, fell in love with them, married them, gave them half your property into the kids. Like, y'all have always been a little strange in how y'all do things. And I say this with utmost, let me be clear for anybody French listening. I say this with the utmost respect for your culture, because I love French culture. Let me tell you, I have nothing but respect for the fact that when your leaders got on your nerves, you took them to the guillotine. Respect. Killed them. You didn't care if they were the monarchs. Y'all have beheaded a lot of your monarchs, and I respect that. Okay, look, I want to make that clear.
I love the French. I love the French. I love French so much where I wanted to. My father used to speak French fluently, hence my name, fluently. Like you speak Spanish, Daddy spoke French. I told him I wanted to learn French in school. He told me no. I was like, but my name is literally French. He said, no, learn Spanish. So rebellious me flunked Spanish 4 times. But yeah. But I've always loved the culture. I love the cuisine. I love the language. I still want to learn French. Not today, but I want to learn it.
But that's the thing about names, is knowing the origin and how people spell it. I was going to change my name to the French spelling, because I figured that would have people stop assuming I'm a dude, which is why I completely agree that, yo, what you name your children is important. I hated my name for a long time because I got tired of being assumed to be a boy. And I had some female friends who got tired of people assuming I was a boy, because their boyfriends assumed I was a boy. And that led to problems in their relationships until the boys met me. This happened twice. Until their boyfriends met me. Then it was like, oh, you're Siobhan. Yes. Oh, I'm my bad. Like,
I'm sorry. When I hear Siobhan, I don't think God.
But this is because, again, growing up, a lot of girls' names ended in a vowel. Let's just say that, which is why I was like, well, I'll just change it to the VONNE, which is the French ending. But anyway, my name is actually Gallic. It's Irish, Old Irish. But again, I don't have an issue with knowing what names mean. Now, I had to look up. If I had a son, I knew what his name was going to be, because I met this guy who had that name, and I was just like, ooh, that's a story. But I looked up what the name actually meant, and I was like, yeah, I'm good with that. I was gonna name my son Julian. So if anybody out there named Julian, you have my heart.
Oh, I know a couple Julians. They're a little weird, but I know them.
No, this Julian. Quick story.
No, I'm just saying the few Julians.
No. I've only met like one, and I've had like 2 servers named Julian, but I only met one. And this quick story time. I was walking down the street, little 13-year-old me. I was walking to my friend's house. Dude pulled up in a car. I mean, I was actually, you know how I walk. I was power walking. I was out.
I know.
But he pulled up and he was like, "Hey, you want to ride?" Now, mind you, he was in the driver's seat. So he pulled up. I'm on the passenger side. I'm on the right side of the street. And it was a dude in the back, a dude in the back, a dude in the passenger. And I was just like, first of all, where am I going to sit? Second of all, this seems like a setup for a really bad situation. So I was like, oh, no, I'm good. And he was like, you sure you don't want to ride? And I stopped because I'm who I am. I've always been who I am, even in middle school. I was like, well, hold up. How you going to offer me a ride? What did I say? I said, oh, I said something about this being, I said, oh, this is your car. He was like, actually, this is his car. And pointed to the dude in the passenger seat. And I said, hold up. I said, is this really your car? He was like, yeah. And I was like, so how you going to offer me a ride in somebody else's car? He was like, because it's my boy, he's sitting right here. And I was just like, interested, but now I'm good. He was like, okay, what's your name? And so I told him, and I said, Siobhan. I said, what's your name? He was like, Julian. And I was like, now mind y'all, he was fine. 100% my type, driving a car. I was like, well, how old are you? He was like, I'm 16. And I was just like, okay. He's like, well, how old are you? I was like, I'm 13. He was like, really? Yeah, I know. Because everybody thought I was like 15 at 13. So I was like, I know. And he was like, okay. Where you go to school? What you about to do? Like, I was just, but in that moment, I fell in love with the name Julian. Okay. And so I've told guys over the years when they ask me, because guys will ask me, well, where did you get? Because I always say, I'm gonna name my son Julian. And they're like, well, where did you get it? And I would tell them, and I've had dudes tell me, like, don't tell any dude. I'm not a liar. So if you ask me where I got it, I'm gonna tell you. So I've had dudes be like, yo, don't tell any dude.
Don't tell nobody that.
Don't tell nobody that. And I'm like, but that's where I got it. But then I actually went and looked up the meaning of the name Julian. And I was like, because again, I care about meaning. And I was like, I can rock with that. That works. That works. But I guess my thing on the whole legacy, or just put some respect on my name, is make sure that what your name is, as Michelle said, is something that you can answer to, and something that you can respect. And let me real quick say this, because this needs to be said.
Oh, here we go.
I watched Malice at the Palace. Okay? Malice at the Palace.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
About the fight, about the Ben Wallace, Ron Artest fight, the basketball fight that happened.
The basketball thing. Okay, I'm with you.
I watched that because I remembered that fight. I did. Let me tell you what. Number one, I have the utmost respect for Ron Artest because he changed his name. And since we're speaking of legacies, he built his legacy in basketball under Ron Artest. That whole fight happened under Ron Artest. And the next year after that, he was like, and mind you, this dude, if you haven't seen it, watch it, because I'm not gonna go into details. But the point I'm making is, the part of that thing that pissed me off was the chick on ESPN, CNN, one of those commentators, when he changed his name to Metta World Peace, and she was like, thought it was cute, funny, whatever, to be like, we're not calling you that. I mean, oh my God, now he's changing his name. First of all, to the devil with her. Because this man saw that his name was toxic. And if you listen to him,
it was tarnished. Yeah.
It was tarnished. It became toxic to him. And if you listen, he said the reason he changed his name, as Michelle said, if you call me this, if you call me Metta World Peace, I have to live into that. If I tell people to call me Metta World Peace, I have to live into that. I can't be called Metta World Peace out here jacking people up, punching them in the being violent. And the fact that a grown woman, I have a lot of things I could say about this woman, but I'm not going to, is going to denigrate that or diminish that, or anybody that's going to tarnish that about you. If you decide to change your name or change anything about you, even if you decide, you know what, you were an alcoholic yesterday, you're not today, you go on in sobriety. Take those steps to be a better person. If that means that you feel your whole aura of who you are based on your name needs to change, for you to change because you need somebody to call you that, to hold you accountable. If your name is what's going to hold you accountable, because that's basically what that was for him, do it. And props to you and respect to you for doing it. And anybody who wants to say X, Y, and Z, to the devil with them. That's my quick rant, because I did a whole 20-minute rant.
No. That's true. And I can personally attest to that. When my little itty bitty modeling career, I only want to call it career spurt that I had, I was known as Chameleon Rush, and I was doing a lot of the video vixen, more lingerie, risque type modeling. I have a problem with it, but I found myself in places and doing things that it wasn't that first of all, if I felt like it was morally wrong, then I wasn't gonna do it. I don't care what my name was, but I found myself in places and environments that I wasn't fully comfortable in. So I would put on an act, a facade. I would be a chameleon. I would blend into my surroundings. I would camouflage. But the true me on the inside was like, what are you doing? The Tae Michelle in me was going, yeah, so this is that, and it's not who you really are. It's a camouflage. To the point where there were some things that happened. And one day I literally was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this way anymore. And I changed my name to Tae Michelle, which is my legal name. And when I did that, my attitude, my what I would, even then when I had standards, my standards changed even more. My quality of work changed because I knew, no, this is my name. Like, that was my name, but it was a stage name. It was that. This is my name.
It carries weight differently.
It hits different. So when it hits different, you do demand that respect. That's why with Muhammad Ali, when he changed his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, I understand that. And you're
Malcolm
right.
X, all of them.
Mm-hmm. All of them. And it's not just for the whole religious purposes, because we can even go into the Bible and why because that's a whole nother. Well, I'm not even going there. That's another wine for another day. But I think that it holds. I think we just need to realize how much weight your name really holds. That label holds, which is why you have your transgenders refusing to be called their birth name, because their label holds weight to them. So that's why they say they want that respect. A name is a lot. So when someone calls you outside of your name, that's an assault. Along with the insults, it's an assault to you. So mamas and daddies, us is, when we naming our kids, even if you're doing, I'm gonna name them half yours, half mine. Let's live up to that. Have a meaning. If you can't find the meaning,
you better create one.
Creative. We creative. We are creative. Make it up. And if you ain't learned nothing from a transgender, you can make up anything at this point and make it real.
But to that, most definitely give it meaning. If you are giving your child half your name and half your significant their other parent's name to blend to make one, then know the meaning of yours and know the meaning of that other know the meaning of yours, know the meaning of that other person. And whatever that is, that's what it is. I can't tell you what the boyfriend's name means because I have no idea. I think it means warrior. But let's say that his name means warrior. Well, Siobhan means gracious. It means God. Well, technically means God is gracious, but it means gracious. So then if we're going to blend it, what am I telling my child? Your name means gracious warrior. That's what it means. If I'm blending it, it means gracious warrior. That's what it means. Give your children the definition. Hello? If we don't say anything else on this thing like every week, definitions are important. Define the name, because a name is a singular word. but it has a meaning. It has a definition. If it doesn't have a definition, as Michelle said, we are creative people. You got to create one. Create a meaning for your child to live into. Because that's what, if you go look up a lot of these Indian names or these African names, which is huge and long, or Nigerian names, because I realize Africa's continent. But a lot of these names, they have meaning. The sun rises in the east. I mean, and to Native American, I went to school with somebody who was named, literally his name was Gray Wolf Chasing Bear. That was his name. And his sister's name was, his name was Timber Wolf Chasing Bear. His sister's name was Gray Wolf Chasing Bear, because their last name was Wolf Chasing Bear, but it was Timber and Gray. Give them but give that meaning. Am I going around here and people ask me, what's your name? My name is God is Gracious. No, that's a lie. But that's what Siobhan means. That's what it means. Know the meaning of your name. And even if you choose to create a new name, give it a definition, and one that can be lived into proudly.
Yes. 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 Your name, I don't think we realize how much our names provide so much security in who we are. And as culturally, we need to recognize this so we can stop having I don't even want to put a name out. I know a young lady, her name is Vasiliki. There's no meaning. She didn't know the meaning. Her mama didn't know the meaning. Her mama said she thought it was cute. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do better.
It has to be more than cute, because you're assigning this to someone for life. And a lot of stuff, as we know as adults, because most of let's be real, y'all not letting your kids listen. This is not for kids. But as we know as adults, everything that's cute isn't good. Everything that's cute is not quality. Everything that's cute is not funny. Everything that's cute is not quality. Everything that's cute is not of value or high value. So it has to be more than just surface. Oh, it was cute. Whether names, whether clothes, whether cars, whatever, it has to be deeper than that.
Yep, it has to. And so to sum this up, ladies and gentlemen, when you put some respect on your name, just keep these keynotes in mind. Meaning, label, a name is a label. A label is a word. Words have meaning. Be careful what you are labeling your children, because that is what they're going to answer to. That's all I got to say.
If your name has respect, you don't have to tell somebody put respect on it. I don't have to tell somebody put respect on my name. No, my parents put respect on my name. So respect my name, period. It's not about telling someone else to put the respect there. If the respect is already there, then you just demand that they do it.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will say cheers to that. So I know my wine glass isn't quite empty.
Mine is not empty.
Because this is a champagne, definitely. Siobhan, let us know what it is that you're rating your wine.
I took the first sip and said, good Lord. I took the second and said, nope. This is truly liquor. It is truly a sweetened liquor. Like y'all people, I'm not a liquor drink. I'm not this kind of liquor. You want vodka, rum, tequila, I got you. But as far as the brandy, whiskey, that cognac, I don't live in them streets. Those not my streets. My byways and highways don't go that way. They don't. They do not. They don't go down those boulevards. They don't go down Cognac Lane. They don't go down Whiskey Boulevard. They don't go down Bourbon Street. I've been in Bourbon Street in real life. I've had a bourbon for my birthday in Atlantic City when the people bought it. And that's the only bourbon I ever had. It was good. It was a honey bourbon. But I don't do them normally. Yeah. Before I got on the bull, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Before I got on the bull, the Asian couple bought me bought me the shot because it was like buy a shot, do the free bowl for free, or pay.
Yeah, we got on the bull in dresses, but yeah.
Yeah, that was not. Y'all not gonna see them videos. Sorry. Ever.
Matter of fact, if you went to go see it, you couldn't see it because the pixelation.
It's pixelated. Right? That was like years ago. So taken with camera phones that are not what they are today. So yeah, it's one of those. And I really don't want to say, I want to say bourbon whiskey, but I don't drink those enough to know. I can just say that for me, this is a whole negative. Like, I can't even give this a 1. Like, guys.
Wow.
Yo, first of all, the smell to me, I'm like, oh, this is again over there. It's one of them 3 things that dudes drink. Yeah, it let me tell you the thing. When I first took the first sip, it burned in my chest. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of liquor burn, not like a tequila burn, like a warm burn, like a bourbon whiskey thing. And that's why I was like, oh, that's what this is. No, we're not going to finish this. I know good and daggone well, I'm not going to play that. This will definitely make it to the wine out. And it might not, if any, it's a bunch of girls going to this wine out. This isn't going, I don't see most women liking this. If you are a woman and you like Ratafia, I would like to hear from you. Can you explain to me why? Or maybe it's just this brand. I don't know. If you have a Ratafia you want to recommend, please put it in the comments. Please go see us at A Little Something, the number 2 Wine About on Instagram, or go to our YouTube channel and let me know in the comments of a Ratafia, because I can't get with this. I don't even know. I don't feel like this is even dinner because it's a dessert wine. It's supposed to be one of those things you drink on its own. You know what I mean? Like a nightcap type situation. Because dessert is the end. Like, this is supposed to be the end. Like, your day is over. This is what you drink before you go to bed. Absolutely not.
Do you think that it would be, I don't know, have you ever had a hot toddy before?
I've never had a hot toddy.
Okay, I feel like that maybe that's something that would be good if you were making a hot toddy, which is pretty much tea with a whiskey bourbon type mix thing. I'm actually interested in tasting that, and I can't wait.
I will never taste this again. I have to give this a 0.5. Like, I really can't even give this a 1. I can't do it. And
that's fine. That's fine. You know, it's all about honest reviews, and you find something that you like. There are things that we like. There are things that we love. There are things that are not.
This ain't for my taste buds. This is not
our taste, right? But that doesn't mean that it's not good. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like, what is it?
Ratafia.
Ratafia. I said ricotta. Jeez.
I like ricotta.
Okay, but if you enjoy a Ratafia, try the J Wine and Vineyards brand. Let us know. Does it meet the standard of another Ratafia?
Yeah.
So a 0.5 is her rating for that. Now,
the Cuveé.
The Cuveé. I am not a champagne drinker. I do feel like I should have let this sit in the refrigerator a little bit longer, because with it being colder, with most champagnes, they taste better. This to me is a really good champagne. I feel like this is a nice New Year's. I'm celebrating something. I need something bubbly. If you want to make a mimosa with it, this will actually be great.
It is.
I enjoyed it for a champagne. I was not expecting a champagne, but I enjoyed it for a champagne. I did not finish the glass because as I regular schmegler me has to go in the office. Okay, the president said, "Get your butts back to work." I was already back. Okay, so I have to go to work. Also, I have to go to the gym after this recording. So yeah, not drinking a whole lot of that. But I enjoyed it. I have had some very muffly champagnes that are like sticky and kind of in the back. This doesn't do that. It's quite crisp, actually, for a champagne. It's clean, and I can appreciate that. My rating for the champagne, I'm going to rate it as a champagne, not as your wine. As a champagne, even though it doesn't say champagne, as a champagne, rating wise, this would be a 4 for me. If I had to do it as a wine, it would be a 2 because it's not technically a wine. But as a champagne, my rating for this is going to be a 4 for a champagne.
Like for a sparkling wine.
Yeah, champagne, sparkling wine. This was really good. This with any type of juice, pineapple juice, pear, any cranberry, like it would be great. It's a nice celebrational sparkling bubbly wine. I enjoyed it. So I will give it a 4 just off of that, ladies and gentlemen. So if you had this, let us know in the comments. Talk to us. Talk to me. Tell me.
We so 80s. I mean, I know that's talking about the 90s, I want to say early, but we so 80s. Talk to me. That was my song, though. Now I'm going to have to listen to that.
Oh, goodness. Brings us to another wonderful conclusion of A Little Something to Wine About with your hosts, Diane Michelle.
And Siobhan Camille.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Follow us on YouTube, as well as Instagram at A Little Something, the number 2, Wine About. And as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine.
So, join us next week.
Thank you for wining with us on this episode of A Little Something to Wine About. Be sure to wine with us every Wednesday for more fun, more laughs, and of course, more wine.